Now, the weatherman says the long rains season is expected to experience a delayed onset with poor distribution characterized by long dry spells. At a time when Kenya is experiencing food shortages, this means that farmers may have to work smart and utilize the moisture optimally in order to guarantee yields.
During the 1996 World Food Summit, the Food and Agriculture Organization (FAO) developed the definition of food security as the situation when all people at all times have physical and economic access to sufficient, safe, and nutritious food that meets their dietary needs and food preferences for an active and healthy life. But due to climate change, food production has been affected, leading to large populations of people facing challenges accessing food. During the release of the long rain seasonal forecast of March to May, the Director of Meteorological Services, Dr. David Gikungu, announced that the breadbasket counties, including the highlands west of the Rift Valley, Lake Victoria Basin, Central and South Rift Valley, as well as highlands east of the Rift Valley, including Nairobi County, will for the first time experience below normal rainfall.
We are staring into the possibility of a sixth failed season. This is not something we have seen. It is likely that most areas will have a generally poor distribution of rainfall in both time and space.
According to the head of the Climate Change Unit in the Ministry of Agriculture, Jane Jerry Ruben, the depressed rainfall could worsen food security and nutrition in the ASAL areas.
Low access, like you'd want maybe to buy a fruit or even the normal sukuma wiki, and it's not accessible. And then we have high food prices, which are still realized even up to now, and then in the local markets that are there. And then we have increased livestock mortality rates in the pastoral areas as a result of reduced grazing pastures and water shortages, which are very key for these particular livelihoods.
Agro-meteorologist Japheth Migiro is advising that in order to ensure productivity, farmers need to grow fast-maturing crop varieties.
Trans Nzoia region, which is actually, again, the breadbasket for the country, there's that slight shift, especially on the dates of the onset dates. Initially, it could be like the last week of March, but now most people, you find that there is that tendency. The onset is around could be the first week of April.
The change in the agro-ecological regions due to changing weather patterns calls for changing the planting season.
Our research institutions like KARI need to come up with the drought resistant, at least crops that are able to withstand drought for to a certain level.
The projected low rainfall in the arid and semi-arid lands, combined with above-average temperatures, may have a negative impact on pasture regeneration, which could undermine recovery from the effects of the current drought.
So it means the food is going to be scarce. The other implication is, like, for example, the pastoral areas. We are going to have, we expect many livestock perhaps to die because of lack of feed.
This means that the existing pasture scarcity as well as poor animal body conditions might persist as a result of reduced pasture and water. However, the weatherman says occasional localized storms are likely to be experienced in parts of the country and is advising counties to ensure optimal utilization of rainfall and to put in place measures that enable households to harvest rainwater. Judith Akolo, Prime Edition.